Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, we'll be giving you the latest on Hurricane Lee with its track, its intensity, and its impacts, as well as looking ahead to the weather across your area in the United States and southern Canada, with a cold front bringing showers and storms with drought relief and also a reinforcing shot of fall air across the United States and southern Canada. We'll look ahead to that in today's video. If you're not a new subscriber to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so I can keep you ahead of the weather forecast for your area, as well as press the like button as well. It helps to get all of this weather information out to as many people as possible. So looking here at the tropics, mainly across the North Atlantic here, and it is busy still. We still have Tropical Storm Margot way out there, and we have Hurricane Lee, and we're going to talk about these two other areas of investigation here in just a minute. But look at these two systems here in tandem. Tropical Storm Margot here well to the east. This is going to be a fish storm for certain, but we also have Hurricane Lee that continues to spin just to the north and east of Puerto Rico, and we're going to talk about both of these here right now. So let's dive into the details here. Let's show you Tropical Storm Margot. This storm is moving north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. It's a fairly strong tropical storm at 50 miles per hour. And we are expecting this to become a hurricane as soon as Tuesday morning and maintain hurricane status through this upcoming week. But the good news is with this storm, it's heading basically straight north. So it's going to be a fish storm out here well over the open waters of the North Atlantic. So this will be no problem to land. Now, on the other side of things, we are talking about Hurricane Lee. And right now, this is moving to the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour, and it is a 105 mile per hour hurricane. Now, right now, it is not currently a major hurricane. It was recently a Category 4 and Category 5 in recent days. It did weaken as it did encounter some shear, but now it's going to start to strengthen again as it has another favorable window with shear and with those very warm waters here in the western Atlantic before starting to turn up to the north here as we go towards later in the week. So let's track this here today. You can see this system is just to the north and east here of Puerto Rico. Possibly some of the outer bands getting very close to the island there, but right now I think Puerto Rico, it will remain dry, just watching out for some rough surf and some rip current risks down in those areas today. And then as we go into early this week, Monday and especially into Tuesday, the system's going to pass off to the north of Puerto Rico and across portions just to the north of the Dominican Republic, but also the outer bands, again, getting very close there on Tuesday to Puerto Rico and into the Dominican Republic. Wouldn't be surprised to see some cloud cover, maybe some showers from this, but no big impacts other than rip current risk, beach erosion, and also that rough surf out there by Tuesday. And then as we go into Thursday, it's going to start to make that turn by mid to late week to the north, and as it does so, that's going to push it closer there toward Bermuda and make it more for impacts for portions of the southeast United States, although just with rip currents, beach erosion, and rough surf for the eastern side of Florida and getting up into the Carolina coast as well. Let's look at the intensity here. You can see it is a high-end Category 2 right now. It does continue to get back into major hurricane status here at a Category 3, possibly a low-end Category 4, as it has that favorable window for shear and warm water temperatures, and then kind of really stay the same all the way through toward the end of the week before slowly falling back in toward a Category 2, a Category 1, and eventually a tropical storm thereafter. So we're going to continue to watch the intensity on this storm, but we have to keep an eye on the track as well. So the most likely outcome here, this is what we call a spaghetti model plot, and you do see the most likely outcome is this black line. It takes the mean of all of these ensembles and puts them together with the most likely scenario, and it has it well to the east of the United States with the center of low pressure, and that's what's most important. This is the center of low pressure, so there's going to be precipitation on either side of the system, and we do even have some ensembles getting it a little bit closer to the U.S., but most of them keep it away from the United States and then push them up toward Nova Scotia and into eastern Canada. So let's track this. This next weekend on Saturday, September 16th into Sunday, September 17th, this system is just off the coast of Cape Cod and to the east of the northeast United States. We are watching our friends, of course, up here into Nova Scotia. We're starting to see some of the northern periphery of the storm. The outer bands get into this region here as early as this next weekend. But we're going to be watching here the wind field with this system. Notice the low pressure track just to the east there of the northeast United States and south of Nova Scotia. But we also have the tropical storm force winds really not that far away from portions of Cape Cod there and the coastal United States. So we're going to continue to watch that here and how close that gets. And also the more impactful presence of this system will be the significant wave heights here and the rough surf, the rip current risk, and also the beach erosion across the East Coast and the Northeast United States. As the system gets closer, we're going to see probably 15, 20, 30-foot waves just a couple hundred miles or so off the coast of Cape Cod, off the coast of the northeast United States here. And this will approach Nova Scotia. I think Nova Scotia, probably Maine, is more in line to see most of the strong waves, the rip currents, and the beach erosion out of anybody across the East Coast as we go through this weekend and also in towards the following week. Then as we go into the following week, on Monday, this is September 18th, that system, which would be Lee, would be all the way up in eastern Canada. We'll wave goodbye to that system, but notice we have another system that we may be tracking by the following week. This is getting into the third week there of September, and the National Hurricane Center does have a 30% chance of that system developing over the main development region, and notice it's pointed more toward the northwest. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. No need to panic here. This system is just coming off the coast here of Africa and has a long way to go to even get close towards the western Atlantic. So we'll have plenty of days to keep an eye on this system, that is for sure. But the experts over here at the Climate Prediction Center do show that there is a likely chance we have tropical cyclone formation in towards that last week there of September, the 20th through the 26th time frame, and probably beyond. Extrapolate that a little bit further to the west toward early October, and we're going to still see that hurricane season really remain intact across the North Atlantic. So we'll keep an eye on that moving forward. Now back closer to home here, it is busy in its own right across the United States. We have some showers, we have some thunderstorms across the Great Plains here. That is going to be with a cold front. That's going to be bringing some rainfall and drought relief, more importantly, but also reinforce the cooler air behind the front as well with some of that high pressure. So looking at the surface analysis, we have a lot of green on here. So we have some active weather across the East Coast and the Northeast, a nice soaking rain here today from Maine getting down through the Mid-Atlantic region, but also nice sight to see here as well with the drought building. We have some rainfall in the forecast across the Great Plains here this afternoon. We do have to watch some of these thunderstorms. There is a marginal to slight risk of severe weather with the slight risk in yellow. That's a level 2 out of 5 from southwestern Kansas down into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle. We'll keep an eye on that, especially near the Amarillo region. But looking as we go into early this week, that front, it's going to continue to progress to the south and east, and this time actually reaching the Red River down here into North Texas and moving down into Texas Hill Country and the lower Mississippi Valley. And behind it, we're going to be seeing some showers. Yes, that's going to help with the drought, but also more importantly, reinforce some of that cooler air. And that will be even further south with this front as well. Look at that, folks. That front late in the week goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast, northern Florida, and all the way down here toward the Rio Grande Valley later on in the week. Looking at the precipitation here, this is your total rainfall accumulation map now through next Sunday. This is next Sunday's time frame is September 17th. We are seeing the soaking rains up here across the Northeast here with some tropical moisture as well from Maine down through Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, all the way down to northern New Jersey, eastern New York State, eastern Pennsylvania. We could be seeing widespread 1 to 3 inches of rain there. Also active across southeast Canada there from Ontario into Quebec there, a couple inches for you. But most importantly, yes, we are going to finally see some nice rains down here across the central and southern plains. And then just zooming it in, showing you the rainfall totals here. Look at that. Dodge City, Kansas, around 2 inches. The Denver region getting a couple inches of rain, and down toward Amarillo, 2.2 inches. Almost 4 inches possible within the next week there for the Oklahoma City Metroplex. Getting over here toward Tulsa, a couple inches for you. That extends over toward Little Rock with another inch of rain for those areas. And then further south into North Texas, Central Texas, and the Texas coast here, Louisiana. Yeah, we're going to be seeing some nice rains. The Dallas-Fort Worth area around 2.5 to 3 inches. Over 3 inches expected there in Wichita Falls, and maybe as far south as Houston, we could be seeing an inch or two of rainfall through the next week. So that's a welcome sight with the drought building down here. Here's the latest drought map released last Thursday, and you see in the red and maroon red, that's where we need to get rid of the drought the most, and that is expanding and very widespread across portions of Texas, especially coastal Texas from around Corpus Christi up through Houston, Lake Charles, Louisiana. We desperately need the rain down here. Unfortunately, it will be missed up here across the upper Midwest. It's going to be nice and cool with the temperatures, but we're not seeing much rainfall through the next week, except for maybe on Monday when we see that front come through, and that drought up here will begin to build with the lack of rainfall. So take it or leave it. Some areas get drought relief, others don't, unfortunately, for the upper Midwest, but nice temperatures. Look at today's highs here. It is hot down here into Texas, not as hot as we've seen, but we see temperatures in the mid and upper 90s. But look to the north, behind that front, stable, cool air from Canada, and it is getting closer to fall. So we're going to start to see more of these fronts bringing down these 60s and 70s degree temperatures here down into the northern United States. That continues into Monday. Look at that, folks. 79 in Amarillo there on Monday, 79 there in Oklahoma City, and 78 in Tulsa for your high on Monday. Midweek, that front progresses a little bit closer toward the lower Mississippi Valley and southeast, and as expected, 78 there in Little Rock, 83 for a high in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's been a while since we've been that cool there. That'll be on Wednesday, and then 65. Yes, 65. That is your high temperature in Amarillo there as we go into Wednesday. And then by the time we get into late week on Friday, September 15th, that reaches a little bit further toward the south. The only areas with heat is the Rio Grande Valley down here into South Texas, and maybe down here into southern Arizona, Death Valley. That's about it, folks. Most of the United States will have beautiful fall-like temperatures with the 60s and 70s out there, some 80s lingering around, but most importantly, the humidity, yes, the humidity will be going down in a big way as we go through the week. And looking at the long-term weather pattern through that third week there in September through Saturday, September 23rd, we do largely see average conditions with our temperatures across the eastern two-thirds of the country. We will have a bit of a ridge start to build up here into the Pacific Northwest, slightly above average temperatures for you. But I promise you, it's not going to be like 90s or 100s or anything like that. You know, this time of year, we're only seeing probably 80s mainly across those areas as we go in towards the Pacific Northwest. It will remain hot down here toward the Rio Grande Valley at least for another week, so hang in there. We will be getting closer to fall each and every day, so just hang in there for the next couple of weeks. Looking at the precipitation outlook going through Saturday, September 23rd, it does look a bit drier across the northern tier here from Washington State through Montana, the Dakotas, getting into the upper Great Lakes region. Some precipitation across the northeast, but an activated jet stream across the south will remain, and we will see some active weather from portions of the front range here of the Rockies getting down into the North Texas vicinity and Oklahoma areas as well as we go through that third week there in September. So that will be a welcome sight as well. If you haven't watched my winter forecast for 2023 and 24, the link for that video is in the description down below. So make sure to go click on that and watch it. Lots of great information and what you can expect for your weather forecasts across portions of North America and the United States this upcoming winter. Also, be sure to leave a like and comment on that video as well and share it on social media. Also, additional weather forecast updates. If you want it, go down to the description down below the video. Follow me there at Twitter or X at HWeather420. I do update on that platform very frequently as well throughout the week. And also, folks, thank you so much for watching today's weather forecast. As always, all your generosity, all your support, I really do appreciate it. Make sure if you like today's video, press the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new so I can keep you ahead of the weather forecast out your door. And also be sure to share this video on social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything. I really do appreciate, and it helps to get all this vital weather information out to as many people as possible. Have a great rest of your Sunday, folks, and I'll see you all in the next video.